I was 33 years old. I was working a family business. I was there since I was 21. I was running the business from about 26 on. I downsized the company, grew the company, and at the time I was going through my divorce, we had 150 employees. I was the president of the company. I had a great team, and I wouldn't be there without the team that I had. When I announced to my father, which was very hard to do, I met with my mother and my father at a dire time in my life to let them know. I just got back from Harvard Business School, my first session. It was so disheartening. I sat down with my parents and I had to let them know I was going through a divorce. It's harder than going through the divorce, is let my parents know that I failed. I'm one of 11 children. I was the superstar. I was running the business. I was the breadwinner in my family. I took care of the employees. I did it all. My father said something to me in my office. He didn't say it in front of my mother. He said, Rock, and this is my first divorce at my age, 33. If you can't handle your family, how are you going to run the business? He cut my salary in half. He demoted me on the spot while I was going through the divorce with attorneys and everything else. Not only was I going through a divorce with no support, my salary was cut in half. My father told me not to come into the office. He didn't want to see me. I failed, and it ruined his outlook. I was in the process of buying the business on my own, and everything changed. You could be a superstar and you could lose it all, man. When my father says, hey, if you can't handle your family, how are you going to run the business? It almost killed me. And as I mentioned, I had 3 kids at the time, all under 12. I was running the manufacturing company with 150 employees. I had a team. I was the president. I was the face of the company. I was the top sales guy. I was everything. My dad wasn't even in the business really at that time. He was also in transition. He had 1.5 feet out of the door. He was in Florida 6 months out of the year. So I was crushed, man. I was crushed. Felt like I had leprosy. Nobody would talk to me. The only support I had was men's groups, Bible study, priests. I did everything I could to get out of the pain. I was living in hotels. I lived with my parents for a week, which was really bad. I started to live with a buddy of mine for $300 for 3 years because I was still going to Harvard Business School, still running a business. Bring my kids over to my buddy's house every other weekend. Thank God for sports because they were all involved with sports. That really kept me alive. I said, screw it, man. I'm going to prove everybody wrong. So let's talk straight. You're the breadwinner. You're an executive. You're a business owner. You might be a workaholic like I was. I was naive. I had no plan to go through a divorce. I was not the petitioner. I was the recipient. I was reacting to everything. You're not only going through a divorce, you're defending your legacy. You got mouths to feed. You got employees to pay. You got deadlines. You got debts. You got decisions. And now, depositions? It takes a year to 2 years to get divorced. No one teaches you how to balance a business, a broken heart, and a custody battle. Nobody teaches you that. And with no support. It's very emotional. This is why it's an advantage to be a business person. Because then you know it's really about the money. Like they say, nothing personal. It's just business. Well, that's what divorce is. Divorce is a business.